everybody, welcome to the Vinyl Channel. I'm that Vinyl Guy Boss. I've been collecting vinyl for over 50 years and I'm bringing that experience to you. So this video is going to be a vinyl tag. Yes, there are still vinyl tags going on right now. I just saw a 7-inch vinyl tag. I saw a color vinyl, tag. So yeah, this was put out by Kim Gordon's Singles. Okay, and this is a bootleg vinyl tag, or as he put it, a BOOT-A-Licious vinyl tag. So, and I have a fair amount of bootlegs. I'm like, you know what, I can do this. So, he has a total of 6 questions that he wants us to answer. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let's go ahead and get started. So his very first question is, oldest bootleg in your collection by pressing date. I believe this one came out around 73 or 74. This is a Paul McCartney bootleg. It's called James Paul McCartney. So I've even heard it referred to as Barnyard Plus for some reason. I believe there's a song on here about a big red barn. So that's possibly why. But researching this, it has a few unreleased demos on here of Paul McCartney, as well as a lot of it is from a 1973 British TV show where he performed live. Actually, I think some of it is outtakes from that show. So, but that is this bootleg again. I believe this came out around 73 or 74. So that is my first bootleg to show you. All right, so bring up my list and go on to the second one. Number 2. Bootleg from a favorite band. Well, Styx is my absolute favorite band. I do have a bootleg from 1977 called Fool's Paradise. This is what the bootleg looks like. This is the label. This is what the back of this looks like. If you want to take a peek. So it was pressed on what they call Impossible. I don't know if you can read that, but Impossible Record Works. So, but yeah, it was just a concert from their Paradise Theater time. So there you go. That is a Styx bootleg. So moving on to number 3, best sounding bootleg. So I have this bootleg right here. Not sure when it was released, but it was recorded in 1975. I'm assuming this came out probably in the early 80s. This is a Led Zeppelin bootleg, recorded Chicago 75, live on the Levee. This is a great sounding bootleg. It sounds almost like it was recorded off the soundboard, and but it's very cool. It's a double LP. It has Trampled Underfoot, Black Dog, Moby Dick, Over the Hill and Far Away, Stairway to Heaven, and other great Led Zeppelin tracks. So that is the best sounding, or one of the best sounding bootlegs in my collection. So we're moving on to number 4, the worst sounding bootleg in your collection. So there's actually going to be two albums, because there's a part 1, part 2. They already go together. But this is Kiss. One was pressed on white vinyl, one on red vinyl. Kiss, this is from the Psycho Circus tour, special advance copy. Each part 1 has a different sleeve than part 2. Okay, let me tell you something. This is a really, really bad sounding bootleg. I'm talking about you got to turn up the volume all the way and still stick your ear to the speaker to be able to hear the music. I mean, it's a very, 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 very low, very, very poor sounding bootleg. I mean, the artwork is cool. It's cool to have. You know, it's Kiss. I love Kiss as well as I know a lot of people out there do. But yeah, so part 1, part 2, really, really bad sounding bootleg. So there you go. That's the answer to that question. So we're moving on to number 5, bootleg that shows a different side of a band. I had to think about this because I don't really have too much that would really be that, but I got the closest that I could. So this here is a bootleg. Supertramp. It's called Alien. It came out around, I forget when it actually came out, but it was recorded in 1976 from a concert in 76. And I think it came out in 79 though. But it was a concert in 76. In different countries, They put out different versions with different names. This is an Australian release of this in Australia. This is the cover they use, and again, it's called Alien. So this is Supertramp from '76, early Supertramp. I mean, I'm a Supertramp fan, but '76, this stuff is okay. You know, they really hit it in 1979 with Breakfast in America. I think that's the best album that they ever put out. And whenever I think of Supertramp, that's the music that I think of. So this earlier '76 music, you know, it's a little different than what I prefer for Supertramp. So that's the closest that I can come to that question. But again, is a Supertramp Alien. Okay, and he had a bonus question here. So number 6, show a punk bootleg. Well, I'm not really big into punk music. I mean, I may have a smattering of a few 45s that might be considered punk, maybe 1 or 2 LPs, but punk is just not my genre. I'm a classic rock guy. That's what I listen to. I listen to mostly classic rock. So, but I will tell you what I do have is pretty close to this, right? So, in 1995, this came out. And this was put out on a label. Let me see if I can get the name of it here. It's called Lazy Dog or something. Let me see if I can get the label name. Anyways, Lazy Moon, Lazy Dog, something lazy. Okay, so anyways, this was a small label in Texas. They only put out a handful of albums or records. I think also some CDs, maybe about 20 in total. It was a small indie label. Doing mostly local bands and stuff like that. But this is a band called Your Mother. And what this is they did a punk covers of Weird Al Yankovic songs. So this is all covers of Weird Al songs made by the punk band Your Mother. You can see it even looks like similar to Weird Al's very first album that he put out. So, and you have all this going on here in the back. So, but yeah, so this is the closest that I have to. It's not really a bootleg because I think the label was a real label, even though they're a small indie label. But this is the closest I can come to answer your question. But there you go. This is a punk cover of a Weird Al Yankovic called Your Mother. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this video. I'll be sure to go. I'll put a link down below to Kim Gordon Singles channel. Check him out, give him a like, and but that's it. I do want to thank everybody for joining me today, and I'll see you all next time.